Welcome on into Sun Devil Stadium here in Tempe, Arizona. It was the Pac-12 opener for both the Sun Devils and the Cal Golden Bears. Welcome on in. Thank you so much for joining us. Arizona State able to take the W at home 51-41. I'm Troy Lynch alongside Colton Dodgson and Jacob Janower. Colton, nobody really thought defense was going to be the name of the game today. Everybody was expecting a shootout, but for Arizona State, the D came up in big moments.
Well, I don't think the defense was the name of the game. I just think they've done what they did all season long and come up with big plays in key moments. That's what they did tonight with the 2 interceptions. But I think the biggest adjustment that was made in the game was Kareem Orr's adjustment on Chad Hansen, which was Cal's leading receiver. Chad Hansen had 6 receptions for 104 yards, 8 receptions, for 104 yards in the first half. Second half, however, 2 catches for 6 yards. He was completely neutralized. They took him out of the game altogether, and those sorts of adjustments, and then as I previously stated, the 2 interceptions at the end of the game, forcing Davis Webb, into those 2 mistakes. Those were huge. Obviously, one of them went for a touchdown. So, like I said, those adjustments on defense, they were key for Arizona State in this one.
Arizona State's defense with a couple interceptions late in the game, even a pick 6 by Liu Mokiol that really turned the tables. But for the offense, Jacob, 290 yards through the air and 164 yards on the ground. They were pretty well contained in the first half, but still a solid performance by the Sun Devils.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, there's Manny Wilkins leading the charge. You know, he had a big transformation from that first half to the second half, as basically the rest of the Sun Devil team did. 228 yards passing in the second half. 2 of his 3 rushing touchdowns came then. He also had a passing touchdown to J.J. Wilson. Manny Wilkins firing on all cylinders. And of course, Kalen Balaj scared some fans early on, got injured. People said he wasn't coming back, but second half, out comes Kalen Balaj. He came up huge in the receiving game, actually. A bit of a factor on the ground as well, especially with that Sparky formation. Wilkins, Balaj, 2 key contributors for the Sun Devils.
If you're a Sun Devil fan, you look at the final score, 51 points, you can't be upset about that. However, going into halftime, the score was 24-10. Manny Wilkins only able to complete 5 passes, a big adjustment coming into the second half where they rattle off 41 points. What were those adjustments?
Well, the biggest adjustment that we saw in the second half was A.J. McCollum coming back to play on the offensive line. Zach Robertson came back after missing 2 games, slid in at that right tackle position. But in the second half, Graham went back to A.J. McCollum, put him at right guard. Stephon McCray stayed at center. He had played right guard in recent weeks. And then Quinn Bailey kicked out to play that tackle position. So they retooled the offensive line, and that paid dividends. Manny Wilkins was only sacked once in the second half, 3 times in the first half. So that was one of the biggest adjustments that they made in the second half. And again, it paid dividends. Look at the final score.
Those adjustments really paying off. They helped a bunch, and you know who else helped? Were the special teams. Zane Gonzalez, 3 for 3. He's number 5 on the ASU record books for total field goals, and also DJ Calhoun. At the end of the game, there was an onside kick attempt, but he was able to take it 42 yards to the house to seal the deal for the Sun Devils. That final score, 51-41 here at Arizona State Sun Devil Stadium. Arizona State will have to go up against USC on the road next weekend, and you can follow all of that coverage at cronkitesports.com. For Colton Dodgson, Jacob Janower, I'm Troy Lynch, and we'll see you next week at USC.